This is a demonstration of what it's like to deal with the itchiness that results from the SSKI. This is not me reacting to shocks or waves of nonsense. This is the fungal infection on top of my skin dying and being incredibly itchy. I've ran out of my lime and sulfur dip powder. Spray, sorry. And the other one doesn't get here, I think, until tomorrow or Friday or Thursday, whatever. I don't know what day it is. Either tomorrow or the next day. This is what you can anticipate. This is what you have to go through to get rid of your symptoms. Right now, my hips, my lower back, and the top of my legs, my thighs are very, 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 very itchy. Very itchy. When this infection got really, really bad, when it went from just, your standard human who has no idea that they have this stuff all over them, to what we classify as Morgellons, it was right after I started taking kratom, which is full of spores and will speed up your infection very quickly. When I started taking kratom, there was like a 3 to 6 week period, maybe longer, where when I was trying to sleep, my skin just started itching like crazy, and it was almost impossible to sleep, and I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea that a fungal skin infection was going absolutely batshit on top of my actual skin. Typically, when the itching gets this bad, I douse myself in lime and sulfur dip spray, or with a sponge or a washcloth, lightly damp, not super damp. Or I go for a walk. I don't feel like walking today because the spraying is so bad that just going outside makes me even itchier. So I'm just demonstrating what I do when I have an itchy spell and I don't want to itch my skin, because that actually makes it a little bit worse. I don't know if that will always be the case, but for the most part, yeah. When you itch it, it makes it worse. One thing that will alleviate the itching, aside from a lime and sulfur dip or spray, is a bath with palmolive, borax, bentonite clay, potassium iodide, salt, Himalayan salt, or any sort of table salt. That is for baths, not for eating. And I have wondered if adding bentonite clay to water and using it as a kind of paste, or like compress or a remedy, would help. But the problem with that is that it dries out. That's like the point of bentonite clay, is to suck impurities out of your body. And I don't know how I could do that and also wear clothing. That would get very messy. But if you use any type of lotions, creams, balms, petroleum jelly, anything that moisturizes your skin. Yeah, you'll get rid of the itching, but you'll also provide enough of a moist environment for the fungus to take off again. For example, on my older channel, I used to tout this a lot. Amlactin lotion that has 12% lactic acid. The problem with this lotion is that you have to essentially scrub your skin raw and then put it on, and it burns like a mofo, and it only kills the top layers of this stuff, while the moisture you add helps the layers underneath the layers you're killing thrive, because this fungus loves moisture, which is why almost everything you use for the detox is some sort of dehydrator. This can be incredibly boring, but it is what it is. It's better than sitting here getting tortured by electromagnetism. You don't have implants. You don't have chips. That's fucking bullshit. That's ancient technology at this point. You've got to update your thinking. The reason why you feel it everywhere on you and in you is because you have an internal infection that manifests externally also. Like, you can get this infection externally by what they spray in the skies. But in my opinion, and this is speculation only, the vast majority of this infection, and the number one reason why it grows back so quickly, is because it is primarily an internal infection. In my opinion, it begins in your lungs, then it goes lymphatic, and then it takes over your entire body and causes every single health issue known to mankind that is marketed as some fucking bullshit by the medical industry to make money and offer prescription drugs and other nonsense that is terrifically overpriced and masks symptoms instead of getting rid of them. This stuff is like literal Teflon. It is a combination of fungus, a genetically modified fungus, and graphene oxide. And if you know anything about graphene, which is all over the internet, you know that it's tough stuff. It's built to last. The chemical bonds it creates are very tough to break. But I will show you an example of me doing a mental exercise where I will not allow my body to react to the itching. Ready? 1, 2, 3, here we go. I want to react, or like the stem cell response of my brain wants to react, but I'm not allowing it. Building up a tolerance to the itching is highly preferable, because the itching phase lasts for a significant period of time. I don't know how long yet. I will be able to tell you that information as soon as I stop itching. I typically don't put my shoes on my bed, but I'm freezing and I refuse to turn on the HVAC because it just lets more nonsense into the house, even though it comes into your home anyway through a variety of methods. I messed up. I think the most important part is to build mental strength and ignore this, which is hard to do. Not everybody can do it. But I'll tell you what, if I can learn how to do it, anybody can do it. That's the reality. Anybody can. It just takes practice and believing in yourself. So if you are someone who doesn't even know about the detox and you've been dealing with V2K, Morgellons, electronic harassment, whatever it is, or if you think you have a physical illness, unless, you were in an accident, 99% of the time it's going to be due to a fungal infection you do not know you have, because it manifests in everyone very differently. Not to mention, the way it manifests in people's brains and how their own psychological makeup decides to interpret that. For a long time, I thought I had lupus and Raynaud's disease, which is something that causes you to be either very hot all of the time or very cold all of the time. Both of those things are absolute and complete bullshit. That's why they can never find a cure for lupus or explain how it works, or how sometimes it seems genetic and other times it doesn't. It's because they don't understand it. Most of modern medicine is a complete fucking joke. No offense to anybody in that industry, but your industry is almost as big of a joke as the psychiatric industry, which is entirely 100% based on this actual infection, which is also why most people who have what they consider to be mental disorders can't get rid of them, or the medication doesn't work for very long. A lot of the times, the medication is what's causing a lot of your symptoms to get worse. You got to be really careful with that, especially if this goes overt with you. The very last thing you want to do is end up in the psychiatric industry. Do the detox. It works. The only areas where I can feel anything anymore are on my hands, feet, and head. Everything else is absolutely no symptoms. And the only two things I still kind of feel are if I have my phone near me, and again, that is based on anecdotal speculation from personal experience. It just seems like there's some kind of tech in the phone that agitates this crap. Or when I'm trying to sleep, after I've made a video about not having 98% of the symptoms I used to have, as if the system wants to prove a point. For example, last night, I experienced what most people would classify as tinnitus or tinnitus as I was trying to fall asleep. 3 months ago, that would have kept me up all night because there would have been other human body communication symptoms to go along with it. But last night I just fell asleep, and I slept till about, 7:30 in the morning. Quite well. And I woke up in exactly the same position that I fell asleep in. So one of the reasons why I have been training myself to not react to the itching is so that when I sleep, I'm not tortured by it. I don't know if the tech can trigger itching. I think it is all based on the SSKI killing this infection. But you have to remember, this happens very, very slowly. So slow that most people wouldn't notice. But it does happen, and it does work. and it's not hopium, and it's not bullshit, and it's not medical misinformation. If I did not have a fungal infection on my skin and probably still in my body would not respond to an SSKI, which is still to this day the mainstream medical treatment for something like sporotrichosis. So all of you trolls, moles, shills, and deepfakes coming here telling me you're going to get my channel taken down for medical misinformation. What misinformation? What are you talking about? Google sporotrichosis cure. If you'd like, I'll paste some of your modern medicine studies, research, and protocols so you can read it yourselves. The problem is you're not real and you don't read. You listen. That is all. Thank you for watching. Happy itching.